Hi guys, welcome to California. I am your host, SoCal Val, and this is my new digital creator series. So whether you're here as a creator or as an influencer, or you just like to learn more about social media and fashion and styling, I have the perfect guest for you today. Ladies and gentlemen, Amanda of Ginger Mom Style. How are you, Amanda?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you, Val?
I'm good. You look glam as always. Your hair is your signature, and I say that for a reason. It looks beautiful.
Oh, thank you, darling.
Gorgeous. Who are you wearing today?
So I'm wearing a nice gift from Wallace, which is available online right now. And yes, accessorized by some nice leisure wear underneath.
As we all are. It's like business
Yeah.
on the top, party on the bottom. We won't make you prove that. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, please don't.
Well, obviously, I've been a big fan. Even before I met you, I was following you on Instagram, and you have such great style, and you're so social media savvy that I know the tips you're going to share with us today are going to be well appreciated by all of the people watching. But if they're not familiar with your brand yet, can you tell us how you started and all about Ginger Mom Style?
Well, it's quite surreal to me actually to think back where it began. Before I had children, I was an actress, and on the side, I did event management. So I was never a 9 to 5 kind of gal like yourself, it just doesn't work. So anyway, when I had children, I couldn't really go back to that because I needed to be in London and on it all the time. It didn't work. So for years, I was mulling over where my place would be in the world and what I should be doing, but I knew I needed to do something because I've always had a really strong work ethic, and I like making money. So I was like, I need a job, and I needed to find something that was going to be really fulfilling. Anyway, I spoke to my stepdaughter 2 years before I actually launched it and said, I'd really love to write a blog, but I don't think anyone would read it. And 2 years later, I thought, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. So I started I didn't really tell many people because I thought if it flops, then I don't have to be held accountable. So I just started with the computer at my kitchen table. And I think the first blog post I ever wrote was about nail polish. And it was just, I actually did 5 under £5, and it was products that I used and were really good value, and I actually still use most of them today. And it was just silly. This was in my head because I was like, these things are so affordable and people probably don't know about them. Anyway, started with that, and then I did nail polish, and then this particular brand, colour, and then just rolled on from there. So I started just writing about things that I had at home that I would buy. And very quickly it just kind of snowballed because it was a good time, I guess. It was 6 years ago now. And so I think it was a good time. People were reading stuff, and very quickly after, people were emailing me and offering me, would you like to try this out and give it a review, blah, blah, blah. And at first you say yes to everything because you're so excited. But also I was doing social media on the side for brands. So I was just basically running their platforms for them until fast forward a year and a half, and I decided that I really couldn't devote any time to the blog because I was so busy doing people's social media. And I spoke to my husband, and he said, look, just at the end of the day, what do you want to do? And he says, you're not actually enjoying life because you're too busy doing other people's social media and you're not doing the thing you want to do. So I decided, it was the 31st of December, 1 year, and I cancelled all the contracts from there going forward. I'll just say that again, going forward. And yeah, so never look back, really.
It's amazing, and you've achieved some great success with your blog. And like I said, if you haven't already checked her out at Ginger Mom Style, add her now on Instagram for all the fun. But speaking of Instagram, is that sort of where you think that you're getting the most benefit out of? Or do you think that written blogs on a website are better, or Twitter? What are your thoughts on the different social media platforms?
Well, it's quite hard to tell. I have a well-documented love-hate relationship with Instagram. I think it brings out the worst in people, and I also think it can bring out the best in people. So I've had quite a difficult time with trolls, and also just draining the life out of me. So I do find Instagram is not my favourite place to be, but it's also where, apart from the blog, that I have made the most money.
Yeah, I'm the same way with Instagram. Sometimes I think it's really beneficial. Other times it is just a lot of, people being a bit fake and awful. And,
Very.
and there's a lot of haters that come out of the woodwork, in your comments and things. Sometimes it's crazy and everyone deals with it. But that was one of my questions about dealing with negativity within the industry, whether it's copycats or people, not understanding what you do and thinking that fashion is just fluff and it's not important, especially in times like these in lockdown. How do you deal with that sort of negativity? And do you get it a lot?
I don't actually get it a lot, but I did have a really difficult period last year with someone who was just relentless. And that was quite tricky, and that just turned me off Instagram. That's actually where the problem began, I think. I was already feeling like it was a very, not the platform for me, because I could see people changing in front of my very eyes. So people that I would have known before they kind of like made it on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Changing from very really nice people to quite narcissistic, and just basically you could just see the change, and I just didn't like it. I found it very uncomfortable, and I began to feel uncomfortable with the platform at that point. And then I just happened to be so lucky to pick up this lovely troll who was just constantly on at me. For example, so it was my anniversary and I posted a picture of me and spoke about my anniversary, and she messaged me with loads of expletives saying I was narcissistic, nasty words, saying, why would you not even put a picture of your husband up because it's your anniversary? Because my husband would rather stab his own eyes with hot forks than actually be on Instagram. So he would never allow me to put a picture of him up. It would really upset him. So why would it upset my husband?
Yeah, and it's also none of the person's business. And some people want to be private, with their personal lives, and that's your choice.
I know, but then I thought, well, I shouldn't have posted about my anniversary then. But I think, well, I can say what I like because it's my platform and it's my life, so why not? Anyway, that was just like one of a few small things, but so got past all that, and then I think I just lost my love for it by that point, so it was quite difficult to come back to it. But yeah, now it's fine, it works fine, and even obviously through COVID and everything, I've not really posted as much. I've done my stories because I really enjoy them, but I hadn't really been posting on the main grid, and so I posted yesterday, and I was almost like, waiting to see, will anyone comment, will anyone like it? But it was fine. But I didn't used to think about that so much before, but when you have a long absence, you realise the algorithm is not going to put you out there. So I was just very grateful that people did comment, and it was all fine and no one forgot me, so it was good.
Of course. No, we couldn't, even if we tried. No, you have such a wonderful intrinsic style, and you always stay true to yourself. But staying true to yourself a lot of times means having a real focus on having integrity as a blogger, as an influencer, and only promoting things that you love. And you've had some wonderful collaborations, and you can tell in your posts that you really get a lot of joy from promoting brands that you personally love. You don't seem the type that's just going to take something for free and just, hawk it on the internet. That's what some of these people are doing, unfortunately. A lot of young influencers are making that mistake. So you've had a lot of collaborations with some wonderful brands, but does any brand sort of stick out in your mind as a favorite collab that you've had?
Oh, there are so many. And like you say, it's difficult because we get so many emails about different products and things that I've been tempted with the money, but I actually can't, because I think I wouldn't walk into a shop and buy that. And I wouldn't give that to my children, or I wouldn't use that on my face. So you have to say no, much as the money is so attractive and everything, and the people are lovely, the company are lovely, it's just not for me. So yeah, there's been a lot of no's as well as the yeses, but things that we have really enjoyed. I mean, the Garnier campaign on TV was a career high, cannot lie. There's nothing that has reached that level for me at all. That was amazing. I felt like personally validated then. I don't know, because one of my bucket list things was always to do something on TV with my hair, just so that when years to come, my kids can look back on it and just say she did it, and it was just a personal goal, and also just something to empower my kids with the whole redhead thing, because there's a lot of negativity about it as well as a lot of supportive people. So for me, that was a massive personal goal, and so nothing's really compared to that. But we've done amazing things with lovely brands like Disney, and too many to mention, but yeah, we're so fortunate.
Yeah, and that campaign was absolutely beautiful, the Garnier campaign, and congrats. We've actually had this conversation about red hair, which I find it so interesting. I have some friends that are redheads, or ginger, as they would say here in the UK, that have said the same thing about bullying and how it's sort of, it's not as readily accepted as I thought it was, especially here in the UK, because I'm telling you, in America, I guess because we don't have as many redheads. I just think that red hair, I mean, I'm not a redhead, but I've been obsessed with red hair. No. I've been obsessed with red hair since I was a little girl. I wanted redheaded dolls and redheaded Barbies. And I just think it's like the most gorgeous shade you could ever hope for. And I find it interesting that, you know, that's sort of at the core of your brand, is that you're celebrating having ginger hair that's gorgeous. I think that's really empowering.
Well, I had to, because it was a do or die, because when I turned 40, I still had struggles with it, and because I'd struggled with it all my life, just hating it and everything. So I kind of hit 40, had this whole like cathartic moment. And I thought, I'm going to have to incorporate the ginger into my brand name, because if I don't, I'm never going to fully embrace it. So it was almost like an all or nothing for me. And most people I know were so shocked, because I wouldn't even let anyone use the word ginger around me until that point, really. The only person was my husband, lightly. He was not always allowed to use it, but he carries the ginger gene because he's got so many ginger children, so he was kind of allowed to. So yeah, it was a big, massive thing that it had to be part of it, because otherwise I just would never fully embrace it. And since I did that, obviously it has taken off, because well, the advert and just general things. I've had so much work because of my hair and just the general vibe of it. So yeah, it's been amazing.
Definitely. Yeah, it makes you stand out. Isn't that funny that something that originally was sort of a detriment and that you didn't like is actually now your niche? That's amazing, and you've totally embraced that.
That was the goal, and that's actually happened. So, but yeah, so much negativity around it, but let's not focus on that. So
right. We're here about positivity and empowering others. Yes. And speaking of empowering others, you are obviously well versed in influencing and blogging. What are some of the mistakes that you see other influencers making right now? And do you have any advice, any tips and tricks that you'd like to share?
It's hard to comment on what other people are doing wrong. I would say the only thing is if they oversell, which I've found myself turning off to recently during the whole lockdown thing. Obviously people are on their phones and on social media an awful lot more. And I have to say, I've watched and just basically cringed at the sell. I think you haven't read the mood of the country at all. And I can see it being done subtly, but still being done. And I just think, give it a rest, people. So for me personally, as a person watching, it turns me off. And so I think, well, it must be a mistake, you know, to their followers and stuff, because if it's annoying me and I'm just gonna, you know, a kind of part-time viewer, then surely it's annoying people who are avidly following. But yeah, I've seen some big faux pas in terms of people hooking up with brands that they don't use and getting a lot of backlash for it. And yeah, there's been obviously a few blogger dramas in the whole stratosphere and stuff. So, you know, there's always a lot going on.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's so important to remain truthful and to have integrity as a blogger and only promote what you truly, genuinely love using or wearing, for sure.
Well, yeah, but people can see right through it. People can see straight through it, because if they follow you for a number of years, as soon as you align with a brand that clearly doesn't work for you, they'd be like, hang on, goes against everything she said. So even last week, I was talking about a particular hair conditioner that I was using, which you wouldn't know from today, but I've been using one. And then this lovely brand that I've been talking to for months had launched and sent me some of their products. And even I was like, oh, but I spoke about that conditioner last week, and now I'm saying, oh, but I've got these and I'm going to try them. But that's normal life, isn't it? You go with the flow for new products, and a new launch is exciting. And I've been looking forward to trialing it for ages. So I thought, no, it's fine, but you have to be very, very careful on things like that.
You really do, for sure. Well, final question. We do like to pay it forward here on the California Digital Creators Series.
Love paying it forward. This is our mantra in this house. Go for it, girl.
Yeah, and that's what, again, something I love about you too, is that you're always championing other bloggers and other influencers. And I think that's why, I have to tell you, Milton Keynes has a great network of bloggers. Shout out to MK Bloggers, Celebrate MK, Circus Magazine. There's so many great outlets for all of us bloggers here in Milton Keynes, and there's some really stylish ladies around MK, let me tell you.
And there's plenty of room for everyone as well.
Yeah, exactly. But are there any bloggers, whether they're local or not, or influencers or anyone in entertainment that you want to give a shout out to, or that you would recommend following?
So, well, locally, obviously you guys have got you guys on speed dial, haven't I now? So this is really nice. And so you can maybe put all their little handles and stuff underneath because the girls are all amazing. But I've seen some younger bloggers coming up. So I think one to watch is Sophie, etc. She's very big on her food and very niche. And I wouldn't have always thought that worked, but she's doing a great job and doing ever so well. So I would say she's probably one that springs to mind the most. Globally, actually, this is also very MK topical. So the one that I would follow and use most for inspiration would be Lydia Elise Millen.
She's great.
She's amazing. She's beautiful. And she just has like the life of dreams that she's created for herself and worked really hard and not got involved in drama and just forged ahead. And so if I'm ever feeling quite blah, I'm not really feeling motivated, but I want to kind of get back into the work sphere, then I would try and watch one of her vlogs, because I always finish watching it and come away thinking, come on Amanda, you can do this. Because I remember when she didn't have that many followers and she was just plugging away, and it didn't actually take her that long if you look at her career span, but I'm sure it did to her, and she was working consistently and she was putting the content out there all the time, and that whole consistency is key thing. And how she's evolved is actually quite amazing.
Right, and I think it's so important to find inspirational, positive people like Lydia and Sophie, who I hope to have on the Digital Creator Series coming up. And like you said, when you are having a blah day, it's great to be able to go to these Instagram pages and go to the vlogs and really lift your mood. And that's what being a digital creator is all about. And that's exactly how I feel when I look at your content as well. So well done to you, Amanda. This has been so fun. Thank you for joining us here. And of course, if you're not already following Ginger Mom Style, do it right now. And stay tuned for more from the California Digital Creator Series. Amanda, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me.
Great to see you.
Yeah. Bye.